Thank you very much for the invitation, first of all. Let's start by a comment on what we just heard about technology not being able to drive the green transition. So if we see the numbers from 2010 to 2020-22, there's a 25-time more internet usage in the world. Much of it is driven through data centers. So if we compare the carbon emissions by data centers in 2010 and 2020, there's a very modest, very small percentage of added carbon emissions during this decade. This is proof that technology is able to drive the green transition. Because when you have 25 times more internet usage, just a very small amount of carbon emissions being added, it means that someone was responsible enough, and I'm not sure it was politicians. I'm pretty sure this was driven by enterprises and the private sector being much more responsible, and they were able to deliver a very impressive result for the environment. And this is exactly the logic and the strategy that we politicians and governments need to follow. So, you know, from mobile usage, the European Union, for example, now has a strategy. We want to extend by 1 year the usage of a smartphone. So we have this very bad habit of changing smartphones very, very frequently, unfortunately. We're victims of big tech giants like Apple and Samsung, unfortunately. But if the European Union manages to extend by only 1 year the life of smartphones, this would be equivalent of removing 1 million cars from European streets every year. This is huge. Mm-hmm. So technology can drive the green transition. And in my opinion, if governments and the private sector are able to set common goals and agree on a common strategy, this is key to achieving a technology-neutral result in some sectors by 2030, in some other sectors adding up to the total strategy in 2040. The big problem in all of this is the crypto coins. This has been a sector that has been extremely irresponsible in terms of environment. Imagine that data centers around the world account for 1.3% of the total of electricity consumption. Only cryptocurrency mining is 0.5, adding up to this. So we need to act fast on people, especially in China and Russia and other countries that don't always follow regulation, global strategy and global regulation, in order to have more responsible and more efficient policies for cryptocurrency mining. Of course, we live in a free world, and you know, innovation needs to have the space to thrive. Yes. But this is a number that is extreme, in my opinion. And one other aspect that we need to focus on, in my opinion, is the strategy on IoT. On IoT, Internet of Things. So you know, we live in an era. Everyone wants to have smart devices. We live in the era of smart cities, you know, smart cars, self-driven cars. Everything wants to be smart, and we want to use smarter devices. This needs to be reviewed from both ways. One is, if IoT can provide data in order for our buildings and our cars and our devices to be more environmentally friendly, and the answer is yes. Yes, they can, and we need to use this data in order to agree on policies. On the other hand, this will create an exponential use of internet usage. So I'm going back to my first point. which is make data centers, and this is something we're working very hard here in Greece, make our data centers being completely run by renewable energy. So if you have a strategy as a government, as the European Union, or as the Western world, to drive the internet usage and the technology usage from an environmentally friendly point of view, then yes, sustainability is achievable. Otherwise, we have to go back to the basics.